This interview is for information only and should not be considered as investment advice or a recommendation to buy shares in the company featured. Welcome to this Stock Box interview.
Joining us today is George Roach, the CEO of Premier African Minerals, following quite a comprehensive update RNS from the company today. So George, thank you for your time. How are you doing?
Yes, I'm all right. I'm back at Zulu at the moment, which is good, and very pleased to be here too.
You're very pleased to be there. Okay, there's a couple of main things from that RNS there, but I mean, first of all, just get a bit of an overview from your point of view. How are things looking? Is the plant running? Is it running as you hope? Is it fully automated?
The plant is running, and a matter of 20 minutes ago, I was able to view first results of spodumene coming out of our final cleaner tanks in the plant itself. And I was quite delighted to see, I think it was 6.17% Li2O.
Okay.
So we said all the way through that we're completely confident the plant will produce to specifications and it will meet our lab when all the bits and pieces are resolved. And it pretty well is.
Okay, good. Well, that's good. 6.17%. That's where you want to be, isn't it? That is SC6. So that's obviously a very good start at the moment. So picking up from this RNS, then there's a couple of big things. I mean, the main thing really is, of course, that Stark are no longer on site. They've been asked to leave. Could you perhaps give some context around this?
Yes, Mark. I'm reluctant to get into too much detail on this, but I think that the fundamental issue is that it's over a year since we had expected that this plant would be operational. There are ongoing issues that we are told are of a commissioning nature. Many of these things that are commissioning, in our view, are not. And a very good example of this goes back to the mill originally. There was also a commissioning issue. Finally, it was acknowledged that it wasn't, and so on. So I think that this thing has been brought to a point as far as we can take it at the moment. And I think that our team and our association with the OEMs directly, for example, the people who supplied the mill, the people who supplied the sorters, the people who supplied the flotation plant and so on, and the ability to deal directly with these people who have all given us their unequivocal support and undertakings of whatever help we want and need. I think that it's probably time that Premier takes on the operation of this plant without anybody else there and gets on with this thing and makes it work. So I think that's pretty well the context of it.
Okay. And what does that mean then? Does it mean that you're taking responsibility to get everything working? And what does that entail? I noticed that you said Senate Engineering will be coming on site as well to do a total inspection. So I mean, what are you going to be doing here? Because I guess there's a few things that still need remedying.
Oh yes, there are. There's a combination of commission, remedy, some other changes that need to come about, and so on. And I think that having an independent entity with wide experience come on site and having them do an inspection and a review of this, I think is a step in the right direction at this stage. And let them tell us there's something we haven't picked up, or that's something that's very good and we don't need to do anything with it, or whatever. So I think that from that point of view, it's a step in the right direction to do that. Mm-hmm. I might also say that we have very good commitments of support from the original equipment manufacturers on the sorters that are at the plant. They are fully committed to working with us to deal with whatever can, should, is, whatever is possible. At the same time, we've re-engaged Anzaplan, who did the original test work for us, to coordinate this further review of the front end, the sorting side of this plant, in conjunction with those OEMs and one other OEM who we will introduce.
Okay.
So we're taking a considered and responsible and independent view of the front end of this to see. Maybe they're going to come back and say, you got the best there is. I don't know. It's got to be done. The facts are that we're functional, that we've taken steps in the mining side, which I've referred to before, and again on the ROM pad, to do the absolute best we can to make sure that deleterious material, material that can contaminate the floats and so on, is not put into the plant. So we've taken significant steps ourselves. And I think that the results that I saw 20, 25 minutes ago are indicating that, that this is in the direction and it's working, and we will make it work.
Okay. So you said the plant is functional. So the plant is running, the plant is producing concentrates. You have mentioned the sorters a couple of times. So where are the problems? The sorters is clearly one.
Mark, I don't want to say problems specifically, because material goes in one end, comes out the other. There is an accepts and a rejects pile that is developed as a result of it. Whether it's adequate and complete enough, I think, is what needs to be determined.
Okay.
Whether the sorting mechanism being used is the best and most appropriate, that needs to be determined. So it isn't that material doesn't go in one end and come out the other. Yes, it does. And it isn't that with our very careful mining and management on the ROM pad, we can ensure that the plant gets material that's accepted.
Okay. Okay. So it is working front to back. It's producing, and it's got that 6.17% Li2O, as you mentioned there earlier. Yeah.
Look, a lot of that's all feed dependent. There'll be variations as we go through this.
Okay.
There's a huge amount of fine tuning to be done. There are aspects of the reagent dosing and so on system that are going to continue to be refined over a period. I don't think we've got the right reagent dosing pumps installed yet, but we have made plans to make sure the circuit functions. And the proof of it is starting to come out in the form of actual material in the plant that is to spec.
Okay. And that pH issue we talked about last time, has that been sorted, or still a bit of work needed on that side of things?
There's still some work needed. It needs to be more extensive. There's a fair amount of work to be done, but we've got it to a point where it's functional and it's producing. That's the most important.
Okay, good. So almost as from now, it's as you want it. It could be better. It could be improved. That's what this review is that Senate Engineering will be completing. Will be all about.
Yes. Look, they'll be looking at the overall plant. In terms of the operation of the plant and building up and getting more and more material to go through the plant and to be able to produce towards the target production levels, that's now all on-prem. It's on-prem and it's on the Zulu team, and that's our effective undertaking and our job at the moment to get that done, and that's what we will do.
Okay,
it's going to take time, but it's there.
And do you know at the moment how much has gone through the plant? If what's been produced is saleable product?
Mark, I'll be able to give indications of that in the future. I can't go into that right now.
Okay. In terms of what's running through, in terms of tonnage, do you know that at the moment? Or when you might hope to get to that design throughput as that 4,000 a month?
The target feed into the flotation section is 37.5 tons of dry solid material per hour. That's the target feed. that target feed it's not been hit at that level yet. But that is what we will be targeting and where we will be going in the coming days and so on as we go forward.
Okay. Good. Okay. Well, that's good. Let's talk a little bit about the operations and the mining operations here. You say the operations have started recently again after, of course, the break. So how are things looking on the pit operations and delivery of that ore to the ROM pad?
Well, the state of the pit at the moment and the blasting and mining that has now recommenced has freed up access to the ore body in a much better way than was necessarily the case before, and should allow us to much more efficiently mine only the ore body, to eliminate as much waste as we can within the pit, etc., etc. So that's been the objective for a while now. That is pretty well where we are. And we expect towards the end of this week that we will have access to a significant amount of ore in pit.
Okay, good, okay. In terms of making that first shipment, George, the all-important first shipment to Canmax, I know you said last time you were hoping for it to be this month. Is that still the hope, still the case, do you think?
I still hope that we will get a shipment out this month. Okay.
Good. Excellent. That's good to hear.
Time will tell, but I certainly hope that we are.
Good. Okay, good. I'm going to come back for a thought in a moment. I just want to confirm something on the EPO, because that was something we talked about a few interviews ago, but just to be absolutely sure, because I know that wider EPO license area expired on Tuesday, but we talked about the securing of the individual claim areas of interest, which have been secured, and you said regardless of the EPO license, they are secured. But the overall license did expire. You said you might want to look to renew that because there are perhaps other areas in the EPO that you have yet to explore. What's the situation with that renewal process? Is the plan still to renew the whole license area?
My understanding at the moment is none of the EPOs that were granted at that time, there's a whole string of them, have been renewed. And at the same time, I also understand that no claims within those EPO areas will be entertained by any of the officers of the ministry. And this says to me that our application for renewal has not finally been determined. So it may very well be that this is an ongoing process. I know we're in conversation with the ministry.
Okay.
I think that we're in a strong position because we're one of the few who within the life of an EPO have actually built a mine. That's on the one side. On the other, we did lodge all the claims. The claims are registered. They are there. And under law, as it stands at the moment, those claims are valid and should be ours.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So you're able to go and explore further into the EPO with those claims. The wider EPO area, license area, is an ongoing process. Okay. That's fine. That makes sense. Okay. Now we talked a little bit following the RNS, I think on the 18th of January about mine gate costs and shipping. So you've got $800 and 152 respectively. Now people can check the spodumene price at metal.com for delivery to China, but I wonder if you've got in mind what a price you'd be comfortable with for a profitable operation. What would be a number, a spodumene price, $1,100? Is that fair to say?
Mark, yeah, that's fair to say. But if I think that our projected mine gate cost was $800 once we got up to the production level that we were targeting. And you have a cost to China ports of probably a little less than $150 a ton. I think that where we are at the moment is profitable. And it's going to take a while to get all the ramping up and this and that and the other thing done. But I'm not uncomfortable with where spodumene is right now.
Okay.
I'd like it to be higher, and I believe it is going to go a little bit higher still. So I haven't looked this morning, but I think the expectation is around about $1,100 by the end of the week, which is a nice number.
Yeah, it's been heading that way this week for sure. That's definitely. I think it's just under maybe 1050 at the moment, something like that, I think. But yeah, it is heading in that direction. Okay, well, thank you very much, George. And I just want a final thought from you. So effectively, Zulu is now taking full operation of the plant, so that the handover, if you like, has happened. Perhaps not as ideally as you would have liked it to have happened, but it has happened. So I mean, as a thought to shareholders then, who might be concerned that, okay, well, the good things are you've got that 6.17% Li2O coming off. The plant is running, production is coming out. We don't know the numbers yet, but the plan is to, of course, increase that, ramp that up. You're still on track, hopefully, to get that first shipment by the end of the month. But in terms of setting aside shareholder fears about, concerns about how things might not be going fully to plan, what can you say? You've now got full control. You need to remedy a few things, but if you had some words to say to shareholders from your point of view, because it's obviously very important for you as well that you get this plant up and running and producing as you want it to, and now you have the full control of that. So could you give any words to shareholders who might be a little bit concerned about reading the RNS that Stark have gone and, there are still some things that need sorting out?
Well, there are two things that I want to say. And the one is not directly related to the plant activity at the moment. The first point I want to make is that I stand by strongly the decision we took 2 years ago to bring this plant into early production at the point in time when funding was available. I believe that had we not done that, we would not have a plant today, and we probably would find ourselves in the current situation of having completed DFS perhaps, but no finance to build a plant. So I think it's a significant thing to bear in mind that we have the plant. We are we're out of the starting gate. Others, I don't think, are into it yet. So I think that's important. The second thing to say is that we have demonstrated time after time after time in our own lab through other independent test work that from this deposit, from this spodumene deposit here at Zulu, we can produce a concentrate to specifications, and a very good concentrate as well. We have believed all the way through that this plant would do so. There have been many, many issues related to design, stroke commissioning, stroke incorrect plant selection, stroke all sorts of other things that have happened, but we've worked our way through them, and we will continue to work our way through whatever it is we have to work our way through to meet those production targets and have this as a proper operating spodumene producing plant in the very, very near future.
Okay, well, thank you, George. Just a final question. How would that affect perhaps the timescales and indeed any costs involved with this situation now?
Mark, the biggest costs involved are time costs.
Yeah.
Associated with trying to get everything to operate adequately. It's not that one needs to replace another component of this plant. You might need to reroute a pipe because the design was inadequate initially. You might need to move an instrument because it was put in the wrong place. It shouldn't have happened. You may need to adjust to find a bigger pump because it was underspecified. But it's issues that are now manageable without major capital cost. It is simply time cost. That's what we're talking about.
Okay. Simply time cost, but all the while the plant is running and the plant is producing, as you said, as of a few minutes ago, that 6.17%. So that at least must make you feel good.
Yes, I'm very, very pleased that the plant is running. I think I need to be very clear that the plant is not at the moment running on a 24/7 basis. We want to have it running 24/7, and we want to have that running 24/7 from sometime early next week. That's where we really need to get to. And that's what we're working towards. In my RNS, I've referred to the thickener and the bringing online of the thickener. Now, the moment that thickener is online, that assures us of the ability to operate this plant on an ongoing basis. So it really, I just have to emphasize that it's been a tough year, but it's a work in progress, but it's there.
It is there. Okay. Well, thank you, George, for that update today. Hopefully we can catch it probably next week. We're doing one a week at the moment, it seems, on this very poignant point in the journey with Prem here in the Zulu plant. But thank you for now, George Roach, the CEO of Premier African Minerals.
Thanks, Mark.
If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like or a retweet. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. There's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programs at stockboxmedia.com. Thank you for watching.